right, what's up guys, Eric here, Driveline, coming back at you with another video. We did a live earlier, which Kevin barely made. And I think I might have mentioned in that live that we have Grand Flatbedder. Is that what you want to be referenced? You want to go
yeah, that's fine, Grand Flatbedder.
Grand Flatbedder.
On all socials.
If you're, you got to follow him. If you're on X, you got to follow him on X. He's hilarious. Wants to leave and quit Prime about every other day. But Grand Flatbedder is obviously a flatbedder, so he's got an interesting take on Prime that Kevin and I don't have, and he also is a flatbed trainer. So it's late right now. We'll actually be early. Most of us drive at night, or the three of us drive a lot at night, so it's kind of early but late to be making a video. But I figured we could maybe talk a little bit about flatbed, I guess, with Prime, because I don't think I've ever had a conversation. If I've ever mentioned flatbed on this channel, it's been that I don't know anything about flatbed. So maybe, Kevin, if you could think of something to ask or something, if you're thinking about coming to Prime and flatbed's interesting to you, I'd like to start with, why did you choose flatbed? Was that like, was it something you already wanted to do when you came to Prime, or did you come to Prime?
So there's a couple different reasons why I chose flatbed. For one, main reason I chose Prime is because I had family that worked here, and so having family that worked here, having in-house, in-house experience or in-house, support, and also the family that I had was he's a flatbed trainer here as well. So having that type of personal relationship, kind of helped build the stepping stone to me joining Prime. And the other reason I did flatbed is because I've always just done manual labor. I've always been in construction or, working with my hands and just bending over and lifting stuff and doing that kind of thing. So flatbed was just kind of my natural state.
And I'm just thinking, every time I make a video, when I'm complaining about something that you reefer drivers know that we all complain about, while I'm complaining about that, in my head I know I'm about to be made fun of the next day or two by flatbedders, because we don't even like to climb into our trailers or pull load locks off the back of the cab.
Got to walk all the way to the back to open the doors,
But so you came in knowing you wanted to do flatbed, and you already had sort of that support group and familiarity with it.
Yeah, so I was looking between this Prime and TMC when I first joined, and I was kind of weighing my options. TMC, they say, does a little better job with the training. But like I said, I had a family member that worked in-house, and then another family member that was a flatbed trainer at Prime. So I was like, well, I'll just have them train me, and then also Prime pays better than TMC to go through the training.
So helps.
Yeah, that was the huge deciding factor ultimately, is that
Did that pan out?
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, Prime's training. I mean, as far as
yeah, I was thinking more the pay, but yeah.
Well, I mean, as far as the pay goes, I don't think there's any other trucking company that pays this much straight out the gate. Mm-hmm. A lot of companies, you can go and get your CDL at like a driving school for like $5 or $6 grand, and they line you up with a job afterwards, but you're going that 4 or 6 weeks without pay, and it's 8 hours a day for 5 days a week for 4 to 6 weeks, and it's costing you $5 to $6 grand to get your CDL. Yes, they give you a job, but Prime does the same thing, and they pay you to do it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So Prime is like, if you're trying to get your CDL, they are the most cost-effective, or whatever you want to say it, way to go, because you need to make money. Everybody needs to make money.
Yeah, I think there's everyone out there calls Prime a training company, a starting company, and that's true. And I stand by that. I agree. I think it was the best option possible to come get your CDL. And I didn't make anywhere near as much as they make now when I came in as a student, but I was just grateful to be paid to come in and learn a trade. So it was a great training company, but also I think there's Kevin and I were having conversations earlier about some decisions that he's trying to make or up against. There's great opportunity, and I feel like I'm going to sing. You guys know I have not sung the praise of Prime for a long time. I've been pretty critical, but I'm also grateful that the opportunities have been there for me. And I still think there's a lot of opportunity beyond the training part. There's still, if you want to become a trainer, if you want to buy your own truck, build a fleet, although I would say, you guys know from my own experience, take caution with that. But a lot of opportunity there, and we can get into the reefer stuff here in a minute. But jumping back to flatbed, so because I've never talked about it on the channel, if someone's looking to come in, what's that going to look like for them as a student, as opposed to one of the other divisions? I mean, what would you say to someone who's interested if you were, okay, here's what to expect?
Well, as far as the other divisions, I don't know much. I just know, like, the reefer guys that I talk to, everybody's going to have their different struggles within the divisions. But with flatbed, it is physical, and the conditions, it does not matter what the conditions are. If it's raining, if it's snowing, if it's hot, you still have to work. And then when you're done working, you still have to drive and then sleep and get up and do the same thing again tomorrow. So it is, physical at times. It's very physical. There are easy days and stuff like that, but you can get out of shape easily with flatbed. I say that because you get a string of easy loads that don't require as much effort, as much work, and then the next week it could just be hammer down. You're busting out. It's 110 degrees and you're in Texas for a week. And that's the up and down of flatbed. As you are transitioning into trucking, you're now struggling with that physical aspect of it as well, which I'm not saying reefers, any easier. Maybe physically it might be easier, but mentally it might be a little more challenging. And I know you guys do struggle with the scheduling,
I think students in reefer, when you're a student in reefer, you probably think that you're not getting a lot of opportunity to sleep, but when you're sitting at a shipper for 8 or 9 hours, you have the choice to take advantage of that time to sleep. A lot of students don't choose to sleep in that time. With a little experience, you learn, you make yourself sleep during that time. But with flatbed, when you're not driving, you're not in the sleeper a lot of times. You're
working.
out working.
Yeah.
So I didn't even think about that. You're probably even, as tough as it is for reefer and training to learn how to find sleep and get a good sleep rhythm, it's got to be 10 times worse than flatbed.
I will say the only thing about flatbed is you are on, they call us banker hours. That's how they make fun of flatbedders. We're on banker hours. We're 8 to 5. We're delivering usually between 6 a.m. and 5 p.m. in the evenings most days. We have all day usually to deliver, not really strict appointment times type of a thing. We're not up in the middle of the night delivering at 2 a.m. or taking a load at 2 a.m. We're, pretty much a set normal schedule. So whenever we shut down, we're not in a dock shut down. We're at a truck stop or a rest area shut down, getting some sleep without the truck moving sometimes. But running team freight.
Not in reefer, though.
Yeah, not in reefer. That's what I'm saying with the challenges between work. Yeah, physically you're going to work harder on flatbed, but you may just be equally as exhausted doing reefer.
Yeah, I'll tell you guys, if you're coming into training in reefer with Prime, you're either going to be in a dock or driving or in motion. That in training, those are the two things you're going to be doing.
Yeah.
Occasionally we got to do park sleep somewhere, if the load worked out, but usually it was sitting at a dock or in motion.
And that's kind of the trade-off with flatbed, is that there are times where we do get to park and sleep, at night. If we get somewhere, we can park up, sleep, because we can't deliver till 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. You know what I mean? So that's the benefit. That's the trade-off. You're trading physical work for a couple hours of sleep sometimes.
Not for me, dude. Not for me. I was wearing a t-shirt today and I had to put a hoodie on because it was 58 and windy to walk to my truck. I'm already trying to prep myself for having to go swing doors in cold air. But the rain, snow, blizzard, ice storm, doesn't matter. In flatbed, if you want to get a check, you're going to be out there on that trailer throwing straps, and that's.
Yeah, and now there is times too whenever, like, if we show up and we're getting loaded outside at a particular place, there's times where they put, like, it is too windy to be up on your trailer throwing a tarp right now. Not every place is inside. Like I said, it's outside. You're in the elements. Sometimes, hey, it's snowing. It's too slick to get up there.
But you still have to even go outside and tighten your shirt.
Yeah. Yep.
You're asking too much, man.
Yeah, I got overalls and a whole Michelin Man winter suit. Like, yeah, you're bundled up. Working.
I think our pre-trips are bad, What about the money? I mean, I think from what I hear at Prime, from most flatbed drivers, they do it because they want to do. It's not because they're making a ton more money than reefer or tanker. I don't know what tanker drivers make, but it seems that y'all just don't want to not have anything to do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think it's more about staying busy.
Yeah.
It's about, and also you do get, like I said, that sleep that you get when you're physically tired. Usually you're out, man. You're too tired to not sleep. Right. You know what I mean? Physically, Yeah. So yeah, there's that. The money side, we might not necessarily see the rates like yours. Your all's rates, it seems to be a little bit better, but we do a little bit more miles, So whereas you guys are sitting in a dock, we're driving,
Right.
So we're able to maybe do an extra load to your 3, we're doing 4, or you know what I mean? So it equals out kind of the same average. You're not going to be making a bunch of money off tarp pay. That's just not how it works.
Yeah, and I think in all my conversations with different divisions, if you think that there's one division that you're just going to blow it out financially over another division, I don't think that's the case. I think I know a couple tanker drivers. They're priced a lot different. They go do tank washes that require a lot of time and a lot of work, and they get paid for that time. Really, all the divisions, you're going to kind of have the same financial opportunity. I think it's just what kind of work do you want to do? What mentality do you want to have in trucking? And that's kind of what you should be picking your division on. If you're sitting there thinking which one pays the best, I don't know if I would say it works that way. Would you guys agree? I think it's some flatbed may pay better at certain times of the year. Reefer may pay better. Tanker may pay better. Maybe hopper. I don't know. But you're just, in the grand scheme of things, it's more of what do you want to do? What do you want to learn? What do you want to do in the future? If you want to go out there and haul specialized, maybe you want to haul fuel or something like that, then maybe tanker. If you want to go haul oversized or something like that, and you see yourself in that role down the road, flatbed would be the right way to go.
Yeah, a lot of oversized places require like a year or 2 of flatbed experience. So if you don't have any flatbed experience, you've got to hit that stepping stone before you can even move on to the bigger stuff, typically.
Yeah, so if you're in that decision mode, don't let your decision be solely financial. Ask yourself questions on what do you want to do in trucking and where do you want to go after you get some experience in your belt. Or maybe stay with Prime, either way. And you can switch divisions too. You're not locked to one. We've been trying to get Grand Flatbedder Cody to come over to reefer all the time. He's on driverdiscord.com as well. All 3 of us are pretty much in there every night with quite a few others. So we talk a lot and have a lot of interesting conversation. But if you want to ask him specific questions, driverdiscord.com, you can find him in there under Grand Flatbedder. X, it's the same, right? Or is it Scat Trucker?
Yeah, I think it's on X, it's at Scat Trucker, which I think is the same as YouTube. So
Okay.
if you tag me in this or something like that.
Yeah, I'll put it down below. I'll put driverdiscord.com with his user and the X link. I don't have Facebook, so I don't really link to Facebook. But if you're on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, he's pretty active on there. And then Kevin, as I mentioned before, and you'll have to grab a mic if you're going to say something. Kevin is kind of, both these guys are mods on our Discord server, which we're doing a lot of stuff over the next couple months. It's going to, you'll just have to hold tight. But if you want a place to hang out and have a lot of drivers to talk to in voice chat, head over to driverdiscord.com. But Kevin is a senior mod, and he's pretty active over there. You have anything you want to add? Like, I mean, what to expect coming into reefer, or
I think
if you were sitting here talking to somebody who's like, I'm interested in coming to Prime, I want to come in as a reefer, what should I expect?
Yeah, I think the students that I've trained, the biggest couple of things you have to overcome is you're overcoming how to drive the truck. That's, to start with. The next big thing is teaching someone how to overcome their biological clock. It's easy to drive from 8 to 5, not taking any shots at you flatbedders, but, in reefer, you're driving at all different times of the day. And it's easy to drive from 8 to 5 during the day. But getting your body to function and your operate on a schedule of, starting to drive at 9 at night and driving till 6 in the morning or 7 in the morning is pretty damn difficult. And I think a lot of times in our training, we don't emphasize that enough, and that's a real issue. I think having your students, and when you're coming into Prime, driving at night and getting comfortable with that is a big deal.
Yeah, yeah. Sleep is a big issue. If you need that kind of consistent, what would you say, 10 to 6 or whatever sleep every night, then you're in for a rough ride, no matter what division you come through on. Yep. And it's going to take not just your 6 weeks or whatever it is of training to learn to deal with that. It's going to take you probably a year or two even to get at some sort of workable rhythm where you can start to feel somewhat rested occasionally. It's just the name of the game,
It is.
And that's why I refuse to drive during the day. I've done my time on that, but I'm to a point where I can say, nah, I'm only going to drive at night and can manipulate it that way. But I've also did my time team driving with my wife, and that was hard. So what are we at? 17 minutes? Yeah, I don't want to go too much longer than that. But yeah, I've tried not to push Discord too hard here lately because we're working on so many things. But if you want to connect with these guys and many more on there, especially if you want to like vocally get on the phone with somebody, we're on voice chat every day. There's we have Ben and a couple other flatbedders on there, and then a whole bunch of reefer guys, most of whom are Prime, but Ben doesn't drive for Prime. There's quite a few in there who don't. That would be a good place, and like I said, Twitter or X.
Yeah, I just want to add to that. I haven't been driving as long as these two guys. I'm only coming up on 3 years this next year. But a couple years ago, I started getting on social media like X and started just trying to get involved in the trucking industry and people that are in it. And as far as Twitter or X and these guys in Discord go, with being a new driver, that is a huge help, is being able to get advice and knowledge from these experienced guys that have been around and they kind of know, like, you may be new, you're still trying to learn how to sleep and manage your clock and manage your time and stuff like that. And so, it's not just, we get on there and talk to each other and shoot the crap and stuff like that. But for a newer driver, it can be a huge help reaching out to these guys that have experience and, getting advice from them. So that's why I think the Discord is so important.
Yeah, and this is the cleanest 20-minute conversation I've ever had with Grand Flatbedder here.
I'm trying hard, man.
I just heard him say crap. You can drop F-bombs on this channel. But yeah, Kevin, you want to add something else?
No, Discord, is a great thing. The voice chat. I have obtained a lot of great friends and some people that I really care about. And I think most people that are there have enjoyed that same thing. And it's a good bunch. Good place to be.
Expect good trucking talk, but also expect the bizarre. We've been having this ongoing war about whether or not you should fight a kangaroo.
Right. The kangaroo
so
wars. It's been a hot bed of conversation lately.
And I did promise Kamar that I would mention the kangaroo fights in a video, and
Right.
so here it is.
Here you are, Kamar.
There it is. All right, guys, driverdiscord.com, Skit Scat Trucker on X. I'll put it in the description below. Grand Flatbedder is his name on Discord. KMac is Kevin's username on Discord, and I'll be in there as Driveline. So thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Sounds good.
All right, y'all be safe, make good decisions, always drive, thrive. We'll talk to you soon.